And with me now is Marcy Schloop with the Public Lands Council. Marcy, you're a ranch girl from Wyoming. Tell us a little bit about where you came from and how you got connected with NCBA and the Public Lands Council.
Okay. I was born and raised in Wyoming, and my family owns a small Black Angus cow-calf operation. I grew up in the central part of the state, but we ranched in the northeast corner. Went to college at the University of Wyoming and got my degree in political science. And after graduation, went to work for Senator John Barrasso from Wyoming, first as an intern in his Washington, D.C. office, and then he hired me on full-time on his state staff, where I was exposed to a variety of different issues. But given my background, the issues I really gravitated towards were those surrounding agriculture. Sure. Since Wyoming is a state that's about 43% federal land, I got to deal a lot with issues concerning the U.S. Forest Service and the National Grasslands, as well as the Bureau of Land Management.
Yeah. And so tell us this, what role do public lands ranchers play in Wyoming and other parts of the West, first of all? And secondly, why do you think it's so important to preserve and protect the grazing rights on these public lands?
Well, 40% of the western cattle herd and about 50% of the nation's sheep herd spend some time on public lands. So they have a huge part in the beef industry and the livestock industry in general. We believe that livestock grazing is the highest and best use for those western arid lands that really you can't use for anything else. Right. Grazing is good for the land, it's good for the wildlife populations, yep, and it's good for the economy, because at the end of the day, livestock grazing, that industry is the only industry that is creating wealth out of nothing but rain and sunshine.
Marcy, for some folks maybe from the eastern part of the country that may not be as familiar with public lands, what are some of the challenges that public lands ranchers face right now?
Outside of the issues that nature presents, like drought and wildfire, public lands ranchers have to deal with a barrage of regulatory red tape that they have to cut through on a consistent basis just to continue operating the way that they have in the past. On top of that, special outside interest groups that push their agendas through the courts have a sole mission of eliminating grazing from public lands entirely.
What are some of the primary benefits of being a member of the Public Lands Council?
The benefits are great. One of the best things is that PLC is a member-driven organization, so those members have the ability and the opportunity to come together and pass policies that guide us as staff here in Washington, D.C. As PLC staff, we provide those members a constant presence and voice in Washington, D.C. so that they can continue doing what they do best, and that's managing the land and their operations and providing the best fiber and food for the world and the nation.
And for those people who may be sitting at home now, passionate about the same cause you're passionate about, how can they get involved? What would you tell them?
I think one of the best ways is being involved at any level that they can, whether it's grassroots efforts in their communities or their counties or the state, or submitting comments on important issues that affect their operations. But I think that one of the best things that they can do is to be engaged with their congressional delegation. Nothing matters more to those members of Congress than the voices of their constituents. Very
good. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us a little bit of your insight.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. To find out how you can help unify the beef cattle industry by becoming an NCBA member, call toll-free 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit the website beefusa.org.